Good evening, everybody. This is Andy, spelled ANDE from ACLLC. Today is December 1, 2025. Happy Monday to all. Today, we're going to be talking about the narcissistic personality types, traits, and tactics. Just heads up that this is a very hard part, heavy, and because it has negative content, because we'll be talking more about the problems with narcissism. But for the next upload, the part 3, it'll be more optimistic, and because it's gonna talk about solutions and how to deal with narcissism, and there will be a lot of tricks. But for now, please be patient with me. You need to know more about it so you will have more understanding, and it will be easier when you understand. It will be easier to do the dealings and how to counter and how to be wiser when dealing with somebody. Anyway, we'll start with the 9 narcissistic personality types. We'll start with the easiest and then we go to the worst. So the first 4, we're not saying all of us are bad, but nobody's perfect. So the first 4 I'm gonna mention is that majority of people are guilty of this, but they're not as bad as the others. So we'll start with benign narcissistic personality. So for the benign, this is the less harmful. This is characterized by there's a lack of empathy. However, it's being excused as being clueless, and then the entitlement is being excused as clumsy, and the grandiosity is excused as childlike. These are individuals that will only talk about themselves or work to make your story or what you are saying about them. They have a superficial immaturity and often resembles adolescents. They would just say, "Oh, I just don't have a filter," something like that. And then, so again, in many ways, they are harmless. Okay. So number 2, we'll go to entitled narcissist. And entitled as so they're usually self-righteous. They usually use morality where rules do not apply to them, and their view of the world is correct, although they're mistaken. They feel like they deserve special treatment without cause or reason, even at the expense of another person. All right. Now let's go to number 3, neglectful. Neglectful would be someone that would engage only with anyone when they want something from them. So only if it's convenient for them, and it's not necessarily a genuine relationship or connection that they are doing. So that's the neglectful. Number 4, this is very new, generational, cultural. And this is the most difficult to describe. We need more study on this one. But these are behaviors that are reinforced by culture. So the culture has something to do with it. Like, and this type of narcissism is reinforced throughout history through intergenerational traumas and other patterns of behaviors. Okay, let's now go to the juiciest 5 more types. Let's go to the grandiose narcissism, or what we call the overt narcissist. These are the egotistical, like quote-unquote, look at me, loud and overbearing trait. So an example of this one in the past would be Henry VIII, Napoleon Bonaparte, Alexander the Great, Adolf Hitler, Saddam Hussein, you know. Number 6, we also have antagonistic narcissism. So this is a subtype of grandiose. But this is more focused on rivalry, competition, and this personality is prone to argue. An example, when I asked AI, they said that Teddy Roosevelt in the past was doing this. He belittles others to make him feel superior. Number 7, we have the covert narcissist. They also call this vulnerable narcissists. They're like the secret narcissists. It's also hard to notice them because sometimes it's not very obvious. They have low self-esteem. They have a higher likelihood of experiencing anxiety, depression, and shame. That's why you feel bad for them. And then they're very defensive. They have the tendency to feel or play victim card. They have a hard time accepting criticism. They take criticism more harshly than it was intended. So even if it's just minor, they're very sensitive. So as I mentioned earlier, they're the secretive type. There's like a secret narcissist you cannot know right away because they're very subtle. They also don't, they have no way of accepting faults. They always put the responsibility to the world, like quote unquote, nobody gets how great I am. Now, let's go to the 8th type. We have the communal narcissist. This is the newer type, very, very new. This is also a subtype of the overt, the first one, the grandiose narcissist, and the opposite of antagonistic. Because, and an example recently, since this is very, very new, this is with regards to current influencers. This is an example of current influencers. They are easily morally outraged. They describe themselves as empathetic and generous, quote unquote. They react strongly to things that they see as unfair. So how do you distinguish this from a true narcissist and not a narcissist? So this is an example. It will be seen all over social media, like they're saving the world, but it's more to be the talk of the town, to show that they did this and that. There was no real empathy, but they want lots of validation for doing good work. So also, they seems to be very, very nice to other people, but then in the family, they're the opposite. The relationships or the family, they would say they are opposite from what they are showing outside, you know, on the public. Now let's go to number 9. That would be the most serious narcissist, and we call this malignant narcissist. They are the meanest and most severe type. And these people are stealing, cheating, lying. They're sadists, vindictive. They're paranoid, aggressive. They share some traits with antisocial personality disorder. So these are like the criminals, the ones that are dealing with legal trouble, substance abuse disorder, etc. These are the ones that goes to jail. These are the killers too. Example is Ted Bundy, for the cheating, stealing, Bernie Madoff. And these are also same as Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Saddam Hussein, Benito Mussolini. In cartoons, it will be the evil stepmother in Cinderella. And also Mao Zedong, because he had a lot of policies that caused death to a lot of people. It's also saying that in borderline personality disorder, those who have malignant narcissism, they have a hard time reducing anxiety and gaining a better ability to function on day-to-day life. So that's why this is the malignant one, because their day-to-day life is very much affected. They're very much out of control. They're the ones that's really obvious, very much obvious. Now, let's go to the traits of the narcissist. There are 13 traits that I'm gonna mention, okay? One is lacking empathy, and they don't have any consideration with anybody. They only think about themselves. Number 2, they have unrealistic sense of entitlement. Very, very much entitled. Me. No one else is entitled except them. Number 3, they need to be the center of attention. They crave a lot of admiration, you know. So too much of they think they're very special. Number 4, they display a lot of arrogant behavior and attitudes. Number 5, they exploit and take advantage of a lot of people. Number 6, they regularly talk about their fantasies of power, success, or beauty. Number 7, they behave as if they're exceptionally special. They feel they can only be understood by other special people. Number 8, they're very envious of others, and they also think that others are envious of them, and they love to gossip. Like, for example, they would say, someone only looks good because they had plastic surgery. Something like that. Okay, number 9, they have a fragile self-esteem. Despite the outward confidence, they are very vulnerable to criticism and perceived failure. Number 10, they lack boundaries. Number 11, they're emotionally volatile. For example, they have some rage out of the blue, you know. Number 12, they have fear of loss or rejection. Sometimes before they get rejected, they reject the person first. So, you know, they avoid rejection and loss, whatever. They do it first. They get rid of you before you could get rid of them. Number 13, they have relationship issues. Because of all the traits, they contribute to relationship issues. And there's too much to say about that, but we don't have enough time. We have to go to the next topic. The next topic to know more about narcissism is the narcissistic tactics. Okay, so number 1, we have rage. They come out of nowhere, usually over nothing. So this makes the victim startled, and they try to be compliant because of the rage. Number 2, gaslighting. They make the victim doubt their memory, perception, and sanity. They claim and give evidence of the past wrong behavior, further causing doubt on the victim. They make you crazy. Number 3, guilt tripping. Okay, they will guilt trip you. They will use your kindness as a leash. Number 4, the stare. They will have an intense stare with no feeling behind it, designed to scare a victim into submission, and is frequently mixed with silent treatment. So number 5, silent treatment. Silent treatment. It's punishment by ignoring. Then they let the victim off the hook by demanding an apology, even though victim did nothing wrong. This is to modify the behavior. They also have a history of cutting others out of their lives permanently over small things. So these people are really nuts. Number 6, they use projection. Shortcut for this is they accuse you of what they're the one doing. They're doing something wrong and they are accusing you. Example, they accuse the victim of lying when it's the narcissist that lied, or they make the victim guilty when it's the narcissist that's really guilty. This really creates confusion on the victim. Number 7, they do twisting. When the narcissists are confronted, they will twist it around to blame their victims for their actions. They will not accept responsibility for their behavior and insist that their victim apologize to them. Number 8, manipulation. This is a favorite for narcissists, to make their victim fear the worst, such as abandonment, infidelity, or rejection. Then they refute it, and ask for something, victim will reply with no. This is a control tactic to get victim to agree to do something victim would not do. Number 9, they also do the victim card. When all else fails, the narcissist resorts to this designed to gain sympathy and further control behavior. Number 10, love bombing. Love bombing. This is an over-the-top expression of love too early on. The normal love bombing, it takes a while. It improves later on, and it takes a while. But these narcissistic love bombing, they're very early and so soon. They're malicious too. They're only designed to impress others, and they're not really caring about your wants and needs. It's just a gateway to control the relationship. They will lavish someone with praise, attention, and validation at the beginning of a new relationship. It will create a false sense of closeness that might sound like intimacy, but lack genuine connection. So, on the real love bombing, the normal one, it's built on trust that developed over time, including vulnerability and honesty, which will be missing in love bombing. In love bombing, it's fast, and it's not vulnerable, and it's not honest. Number 13, number 11, we're gonna go with triangulation. This is bringing others into the conflict to make you chase approval, because you're double thinking, oh, maybe I'm wrong because the other person thinks I'm wrong and he says it's wrong. Oh, this is really gonna drive you nuts. That's why I said in the beginning, this is really not an easy one to do, because it's very it's making me tired. Number 12, intermittent reinforcement. So intermittent reinforcement, they're doing this by mixing cruelty and affection, and this is to make you addicted. Because when you're in love, you only think of the positive, you don't think of the negative, and then they're really working hard to do that. Number 13, mirroring. Mirroring is also sometimes it's also normal, but in narcissism, it's fast. It's not gradual. So it's very aggressively accelerated. So they would use words, the words that you use, they copy you, your mannerisms. First time they met you, they do it right away, It makes you feel as if you've known them for a long time, makes you feel seen, and someone gets you. You feel validated. However, this is all not true. This is just to make you feel comfortable, to gain your trust, to lower your guard, and then you open up and share your vulnerabilities, which in the end they're gonna use against you. So this narcissistic mirroring is also embedded in the love bombing phase, and then they use it as a weapon eventually in the start of the evaluation process, where they would later, as I mentioned, they're gonna use it later. They will do it with the put downs, which turns to dark mirroring. The mirroring will switch from a positive reflection to a negative one. Like, for example, in the past you have opened up about having issues with a friend who is definitely unfair. later on this narcissist will comment something like, don't you think that you are unfair? You sound just like your friend, something like that. Oh my God, I myself am already having a headache. Number 14, narcissistic word salad. I'm sure everybody knows word salad, especially if you're always online. This person is manifesting confused or unintelligible mixtures of random words and phrases, just meant to confuse you. It doesn't really make sense. They're just talking, but just to say something, you know, like this is used as a defense mechanism or of a narcissist. And then when threatened, especially when you are getting close to the truth, which they will never ever admit or accept. Number 15. I'm sure you guess now what is missing. They lie a lot. That's why their face is. That's why I have a lot of pictures that I'm showing that their face is cut off because they're not showing their real face, or they have a mask. They lie a lot. I just have a bonus. We're almost done. I just have a bonus. So for the word salad, these are just signs, other signs. So the word salad, they talk in circles, they make excuses, and then they believe their own lies. They drain you on purpose. I myself am already drained by their traits, okay? And then they are also projecting. And talking about being drained, it's like talking about, this is like the cat and mouse game. The cat will play the mouse first, then will start chasing until the cat will drain the mouse of its energy, until it's easier for the cat to catch the mouse who already gave up, harmless and exhausted. So here the cat is the narcissist and the mouse is the victim. So anyway, I promise next time it will be better. It will be us getting stronger. We're not gonna feel weak and sad. Okay, I know this is a very tough thing to share, but we need to know more about it. We need to learn more about narcissism to be able to find out who is one and how to deal with it, which will be next time. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope you subscribe and like. Again, this is Andy at ACLLC. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.